Bluecoats, I'm gonna let y'all finish, but Boston just went boom. Here are my thoughts on the 2025 DCI World Championships. Not doing a ton of fancy editing, I just want to give you my thoughts as they happened from last night. So the night kicked off with the Blue Knights, and it's just super nice to have them back in finals. It's been quite a bit of time since we've seen them in finals. Just some notable things. We really liked their color palette and just the contrast. Thought the concept was easy to understand. They had a lot of really cool things with water effects. You had some fabric that was interwoven in there. It gave me like Inferno type vibes in terms of the fabric, but it was blue for drip and water. So we also could have seen a Mario collaboration in there, kind of a theme with at least 2 drum corps this season. We could have seen a Nintendo Mario collab, but all jokes aside, really nice to see Blue Knights back in finals. And we got to go see them in the lot at Night Beat. That vlog's coming out soon whenever I can actually get a free moment and make it really, really great. And yeah, go Blue Knights. Excited to see where you guys continue to grow from here. Up next, we had the Colts in 11th place. I really thoroughly enjoyed the color palette. Again, it seems to be a common thing with people doing these costumes, but with that split down the middle and the contrast you had from one side to the other, I'm sure visually it made it very easy to distinguish where shoulders were and just probably easy to scrutinize and maybe give a little more of a red flag if things are off visually. The concept was a little harder for me to grasp, if you ask my opinion, but I still really enjoyed watching what they had to bring to the table. And again, just the quality of drum corps that exist just kind of blows my mind that we're talking about 12th and 11th place. So awesome to see what they're doing at Colts. Excited to see what they have coming up in the future. And excited to see what they do in the future as well. Guys, we need to talk about Troopers. They really pulled at my heartstrings. If you're anybody that's been following the activity for really any amount of time, whether it be the past 3 years or just knowing the Trooper legacy, it just threw so many little things in there that made you just appreciate drum corps tradition. And of course, as someone who marched in cadets, rip the cadets, it was super nice to just feel that tradition, but also see it in some new ways. Loved the Mauler, loved just the sentimentality of it, if that is an actual phrase that can be used. Loved it. I think they're definitely punching above their weight class in a great way, and I really honestly think they probably should have been a placement higher. That's just my 2 cents, but I'm not judging. So I loved getting to catch up with Josh, their visual caption head, who is just doing a great job, and I'm really excited to see what the Troopers have in store for the upcoming year. I'm always going to say that. I'm going to say that just about every drum corps, but you know, Troopers used to be, when I was marching, had no shot at making finals, and now they are pushing into finals and making a statement and just making people give standing ovations and just touching people's hearts and lives in ways that, I don't know, it feels like a piece of art what they did this year. So thank you for the end of a trilogy. Thank you for just an incredible show that we can all feel good about watching. And I really have enjoyed watching Troopers mature over the past few years. And I'm, again, really excited to see what they do next year. So go Troopers. Really awesome stuff. So many great moments in the show. Up next, the Cavaliers. Let's be honest, last year's Cavaliers show in 2024, design-wise was, I don't know how that got greenlit. No pun intended. It was not very good design-wise. No offense to anybody that marched there in 2024. I have no doubt that member-wise, you guys are putting in the work, but design team, the adults in charge of the design, I have no idea what you guys were thinking prop-wise. It just kind of boggles my mind. I watched that show last year at finals and went, huh? And watched it throughout the season and went, huh? Really, this is it? So I think the Cavaliers came in with a brand new design team, new staff this year. You got Matt Stratton and Jay Bocook and just some heavy hitting names that are in there doing their thing. And this is kind of the start of what I'm seeing is like a new era for the Cavaliers. This is just their starting point. I think similarly to like Boston of like 2017, you know, that's when Gino and that whole crew and Leon May and Michael Townsend, everybody got hired. And obviously, well, you know what happened this year. So that journey, I'm hoping that the Cavaliers are turning a new leaf to where they can finally propel themselves back up to, you know, their good old days or, you know, beyond. So Super excited to see where they go. Just looking at their show though, it's about shapes that shift. Obviously the props were a really cool thing. Watching them connect and tilt and do all of these things was super neat, but I really do think their percussion and their visual scores is what carried them to be above Troopers. I think everything else, in my opinion, Troopers were much better at. And so as a brass guy, which for me, I feel like, you know, it's like the cream of the Oreo, right? You've got like percussion and guard, my metaphor, so just stay with me here. Percussion and guard are like the cookies and the brass is like the cream filling in the middle. I just feel like, you know, you can't, it's there, it's substantial. It's like, you know, it's an Oreo. Besides the point. Anyways, the brass were just not playing up to par compared to where they placed. It just didn't quite feel, I was watching, I was like, why is this sound not as good as Troopers? And I don't know, that kind of caught me off guard. So I feel like, in my opinion, when I was watching it live, I felt like Cavaliers should have been below Troopers, but that's my 2 cents. I'm not a DCI judge. I'm not trained in that regard, nor was I judging a particular caption or there live. So there you go. But I did enjoy your show. Congrats to the start of a new era, and I'm super excited to see where you go next. I'm gonna say that a lot, aren't I? Yeah, I'm gonna say it a lot. All right, the Blue Stars. Shout out to Travis Larson, 2014 mellophone tech for the cadets. He was great. Now he's their brass caption head. You can hear his personality and his concept of sound that he is just bringing to the table with them. Their brass line is just, you take wherever Cavaliers and Troopers were, and it's just the next level of playing. Super clean, super impressive, very aggressive, and I loved it. I really did. I'll just say the show concept is a little too on the nose for me. Like, cool, it was nice thing. Oh my gosh, that guy's running. That one kid, that should be your profile picture. You know, you finished running the race. I don't know. Just saying, I thought it was great, that portion. But it's a little too on the nose, maybe it feels a little BOA to me. So I'd love to see you guys do something that's, you know, a little more sophisticated without being too weird from the show design concept. But again, I think it works. I like the different colors that you guys kind of switched into while still keeping it within the same, like the sleeves changed and just kind of design. It was really cool how you guys did it. Again, really great playing, really great performing. Again, another level up once you kind of keep rising up the ladder. It was certainly fun to spectate that sport. Puns. Great job, you guys. Blue Stars. Metal Militia, Travis Larson. All right, Mandarins. This drum corps just locked in 7th place. This show was definitely one when I saw it live that made me ridiculously nervous. Not in the sense of like, I'm nervous because of scores or whatever. Like with these props falling, I was legitimately nervous for everyone. Like, as someone who has been a previous band director, still in the band world, judging and teaching quite a bit, when I get the chance to, made me very nervous logistically. Those props falling and like, how would they fall? Especially outdoor shows, like when we saw them at Night Beat, I was like, what if the wind blows? What if this happens? What if somebody accidentally gets crushed by one of these props? Like, because they stood up and there's like no safety mechanisms there that I am aware of. So I didn't ever see that happen. So kudos to you guys for making me not like gasp audibly in a bad way. But some really impressive brass playing, really, really nice color choices. I love the boldness of the white and just how the blue accents kind of complement everything. And Lucas Oil, when you wear blue in there to some degree, it just really pops. It's just the way the seats and the environment kind of works visually. Super great, really cool message when you dig into it. And I just love getting to see like Mandarins. You guys have come so far. It's been, I mentioned this a lot last year, but like when I was growing up in high school, it wasn't even on my register that Mandarins were a corps that I should be on the lookout for impressiveness, and just what has happened over the past, few years has been awesome to see. So you guys keep it up. Excited to see what you guys bring to the table next year. Go Mandarins. Awesome stuff. Phantom Regiment, with a show that has no title whatsoever. At the beginning of the season, I thought that was so cool and edgy and it was awesome. But I feel like as the season went on, it really limited what they could kind of squeeze out of their show. If I've looked into a mirror or looked at a fancy painting enough times, I'm gonna get the meaning I want out of it and probably look no deeper. If the season was like 2-3 weeks, I think it would have been fine. If it was a BOA show, maybe it would have been fine. And I didn't feel this way early season. I was very hyped for them and I thought it was super, super interesting, but I started to lose interest in it as the season went on, And as I saw them perform, I mean, still an amazing show. Great performing, great staging, interesting ideas and concepts presented, and just, I mean, maxed out performing. And mellophones, woo-wee! You guys got some licks in there. I love it. The brass line, you guys, it's just great drum coring, if that's a verb. You guys, it's just awesome stuff. I just think maybe your design concept, which wasn't limiting at the beginning, may have limited how far you could have pushed it and moved up in the rankings at the end. Because I think you guys, I don't know, I feel like you played well, you moved well, design like wise, other than concept, like there was a lot to look at and a lot to appreciate. But that's just my 2 cents. Again, I love that they kind of bring that like almost run and gun ending vibe back. As a Cadets alum, it's always nice to feel that. Felt that way last year with Mind, and I think we are in the renaissance of Phantom Regiment. So I'm eager to see your 2026 production that will hopefully have a name this time. And yeah, so excited about that. Carolina Crown and the Point of No Return. I'll admit, I started this year and I was not a fan of Carolina Crown's show. I saw it at Nightbeat even, and I was like, okay. The ending just didn't do it for me. The only thing that I appreciated with all of my heart was their ballad, because it was so exposed and just required so much finesse and control. There's nowhere to hide. Like, you go, yes, that is the Carolina Crown brass line. Even, I mean, even the color guard was like, it just felt like the ballad was a moment. It was so long and so exposed and so delicate for everyone. And it was just nails when we watched it finals night. It just truly was awesome to see, and I enjoyed it. But their ending, when I saw it at Nightbeat, it was just kind of okay, well, whatever. Other parts of the show, okay, we've seen Crown do stuff like this, okay, cool. But at Allentown, they premiered a new ending, and this ending has just gotten people on their feet. I love the ending. It's such a small difference, but it makes huge waves in the way that you feel at the end of their show and the taste that is left in your mouth at the end. And it's just one of like, yes, oh my gosh, crowd is on their feet, absolute terror in this one member's face. Fate is coming for you. You cannot outrun fate. It's just a really cool way to end the show. And I still get goosebumps thinking about that change. It's such a small thing to do with some great Jeff Sacktig drill. And I was just, I'm just tickled to death at that ending. So I'm so glad you guys placed where you did. I think you guys are really, really good at what you do and at really playing acoustically, which is something that not a lot of people do anymore. I'm just, your brass sound is unparalleled, and there's a reason that Matt Harloff is in the DCI Hall of Fame. Now, he should have probably been in there a long time ago. But yeah, Matt, if you ever want to chat, give me a call. Would love to talk about all you're doing at Avon and Crown. You guys are great. Ballad was awesome. Point of No Return. I'm going to watch it again for sure. The Blue Devils in 4th. It's been a very long time, and I'm giving this job to editing Rocky, who's going to be editing this video. This was the year that Blue Devils last placed 4th or lower, right here. It's a long time ago. So do I think the Blue Devils fell off? Do I think that they've lost their mojo? No, I just think that everyone else has kind of risen up. I do think the Blue Devils had a really bad run at finals, especially soloists and small ensembles, but that still does not discredit how we saw them at Nightbeat, me and the boys. Again, that vlog is coming as soon as I can get it quality done. I'm not just going to release it, because we loved and still love the risk that they're taking, just some of the crazy things that maybe Blue Devils hadn't done in the past, moving and playing more. That's a notable one. We're really glad about that. And no money jazz runs like the Blue Devils, just point blank, in a great way. So just keep that up, Blue Devils. I'm sure you'll be back at it. You guys, I'm sure your design team's already been talking about it on the bus ride home. But yeah, I felt maybe it was a little bit simple of a concept, maybe too simple. I know sometimes Blue Devils, you guys get in trouble for having too complex of shows. This may have been a little too simple. Variations on a gathering, but again, I really enjoyed it. I think if woodwinds are gonna be in DCI, at least one instrument in particular, I'm never gonna say that the whole thing should be, then it's just band. But one instrument, I could be okay with the way they tastefully inserted the soprano sax. I did not mention this in the Blue Knights section, but I'm oboist, you played fine. I think you could have accomplished it with a less finicky non-double reed, and it would have been just as fine. It's just, yeah, oboe, drum corps, just for me, it doesn't work. You weren't bad by any stretch of the imagination. I don't, not for me. Moving on. Third place, solid third place. Like really like just on third place island, just locked in, really great drum corps, Santa Clara Vanguard. Just incredible. I love the way that they kind of teased doing things that are outside the norm. I mean, for the first time, every time I watch it, I'm seeing like new things that I didn't see before that kind of poke fun at the norms, like playing snare with your hands. Like obviously I know you could do that, I just didn't know you could effectively do it in a show. Brass features galore, and those things were just awesome to listen to. Double tonguing, the little skirt thing and how it changed positions and how everybody's doing things together, and the pink and the polka dots and wearing it as a hat, which really impressed my wife. I'm honestly curious, where'd you guys get those circle props from? How did you make them? If you made them, did you buy them somewhere? What's it made out of? How did it stay on his head? Like lots of questions about the logistics. And the arm thing was pretty cool once you guys kind of got that down. It's just so interesting and so different, and very, very solid third place. And I'm glad after taking that year off that you guys did and kind of coming back and doing last year, which didn't probably go as well as you wanted or as well as we would have liked, show design wise. I'm really glad this you guys just came out swinging. So awesome job, SCV. Again, glad you're back. Wish the cadets could be back. So moving on. Second place, our friends, the Bluecoats. I'll be honest, I came into the weekend wanting them to win. I wanted them to win. We saw them live. We went to a rehearsal in North Carolina, and then we saw them at Night Beat Live. And I don't know, it was just awesome to watch. And of course we watched Boston along the way, and we still felt like Bluecoats would end up taking it. Just their design and their production quality is always so high, and just what we experienced getting slapped in the face with sound. Watching a recording of their show does not do it justice for what it's like to be there live with it. The Bluecoats show was awesome, and I thought very interesting show concept-wise, in the sense that how we observe things shifts. Like, you know, those different cubes they have, like they've got the primary colors, and as you combine the primary colors by looking through two sides at the same time, you see a different color. And just how we observe things and where, and just the art of observing changes how we observe, or even the outcome of what we are observing. Very interesting concept. I liked the scientist vibes, and they just looked big. Just felt like they took up the whole field. And yeah, just not a lot of negative space out there, but I legitimately thought they were going to win until I saw Boston before they went on. I will say this, Bluecoats did walk away with the best general effect and also the best visual performance award. And these are averages of the 3 nights: prelims, semifinals, and finals. So it's never really an indicator. You would have heard me say that on the stream. It's not always an indicator of how finals night placement went. Wasn't sure how it was gonna go based on that. But I think we do need to talk about Boston. Boston Crusaders just blew me away, no pun intended. The electricity and the confidence and the swagger that they had in that performance. I feel like somebody talked to them, they knew, they're like, okay, we are so tired of being a bridesmaid or the maid of honor, we're ready to be the bride. Like, we have waited so long, 85 years, no one's taking this away from us, not even the Bluecoats. And they just came out swinging, there were no misses. Yeah, there's always going to be little ticks here or there. I mean, even Blue Devils and Fellini-esque had some errors in there. Like, nobody's perfect. But just wow. They were so on fire that I didn't care about those little tiny things that you may have caught. Like, it was just wow. The energy, the confidence, the cleanliness, the effectiveness of their show. And I've seen their show plenty of times, and I've never felt anything as deeply as I did when I watched it on finals night. And I mean, Boston, wow, you guys deserved this one. You absolutely were undeniable and deserved every single point you got, every ounce of praise that you got for the performance and the acknowledgement of your talents and your hard work. So congratulations. And Gino and Steve and Jarrett and just the brass staff. I know many of you taught me at cadets when I was there. It's just so awesome to see you guys, you know, get emotional, react, and to see your hard work pay off. It just means so much. And I mean, wearing my Boston shirt right now. You guys killed it. Not only they won color guard, absolutely insane color guard. Michael Townsend, just wow. I am a Bassett alum, Michael Townsend, so just a heads up, you have some Bassett history. Let me know if you ever want to do an interview. That'd be cool. You guys were just machines. And I'm so glad after 85 years, Boston has their first world championship. History has been made. So yeah, if you want to go back and watch our entire reaction to this, we did a 5.5-ish hour live stream. It was like 5 hours and 20 some minutes. We were streaming our reactions and we talked with the community, and you can kind of see, you can see the live chat replay. You can go back and watch the replay on Flow Marching or whatever you want to do to pretend like you're reliving it. But it was just such a cool experience and experiment to get to hang out with so many of you guys while we did that. So if you want our more full in the moment thoughts, we gave them during that. Lots of doctoral and master's music students in the room, and then there's me with his bachelor's in music ed. So yeah, if you liked this video, give it a like. Make sure you subscribe. I know we've got another drum corps anthology series talking about Carolina Crown and their uniforms, so that's going to come out sometime in the next few months. It's not been filmed yet, but we're working on it, and I want it to be great, so it'll come out when it is ready. I'm hoping in the next few-ish months, now that we're back in school time teaching. And if you liked this video, you might find you like some of the other ones that I've done, whether it be how the Bluecoats became a contender video, or maybe a video I did about drum corps conspiracies. So I appreciate your time. What are your thoughts on the 2025 Drum Corps International World Championship results? Why don't you just leave a comment below and maybe start a discussion? Do you think it should have been different? What are your thoughts? What did you like? What didn't you like? If you were designing drum corps, what kind of show would you do? How much did you miss the cadets this year? For me, it was a lot. Thanks so much for hearing me talk. This is definitely a more candid style where I don't have a script. I don't have anything. I'm just talking, giving my thoughts. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for sharing your time with me. And I guess until next time, we'll catch you guys later.